Hi, welcome to Midway Wool. I'm going to show you how to make a fly stitch and then also what's called a closed fly stitch today. A fly stitch is just a little V that's has a stitch holding it down. It's very easy, but it's really a fun stitch, and there are a lot of variations that you can do. For instance, you can just have it really close to the V, your little anchor stitch, or you can make little legs on your anchor stitches. So it's a fun little stitch to use. It's great for outlining circles or flowers or whatever, and it's great for making grass in the background. It's just a fun little stitch. So I am going to bring my needle up through the background. I'm using a number 5 pearl cotton eleganza thread, and I'm using a number 22 chenille needle. So I'm bringing it up above my line, and so that's my emerging thread. I'm going to take my needle down straight across from that emerging thread, and then I'm going to bring it back up below the threads to make the V, and I'm bringing it up in between the emerging thread and where my needle is going down. And I want to make sure that my needle is on top of that loop at the bottom. And what that does is just make a little V. So then I'm going to take my needle down on the outside of that V to anchor it. So I'll do another one. And with this one, there's my emerging thread. I'm coming straight across, bringing my needle back down in between the emerging thread and where my needle's going. I'm making my V. Now I could make it with a little tail on it if I wanted to. And you could even make it with a longer tail if you wanted to. And this is a big fly stitch. You probably wouldn't want to make quite this big if you were outlining something. So that is your fly. It's nothing more than a V that is anchored. Now if you want to make several of them in a row, for instance, this is called a closed fly. It's just flies that are just continuing all the way down. This is a great stitch to go on top of a leaf. This one covers the whole leaf. This one is just down the middle of the leaf. But it's really fun to do this. So if you're going to do a closed fly, you want to start out with just a straight stitch to begin with. Now you go ahead and you make your little V's. So again, I'm coming up on the left-hand side, going down on the right-hand side. I'm bringing my thread, my needle up there. So now I have a fly stitch with a straight stitch coming out of it. Now to do the next stitch so that we're going to be continuous, I come down the length of the stitch that I want, which I'm just duplicating this straight stitch that I made there, and I'm coming back up there to make my little V, coming across and bringing my needle up at the bottom of that straight stitch. And I'm going to make another straight stitch, come up to make the V, and come down. So that's called a closed fly. It's just a continuation of this fly stitch with a straight stitch in between. You can make them so that the V is very exaggerated, or you could also make them so that they're a little flatter, like in this particular little sample that I've done. But it's really fun. It's a great stitch. The closed fly is a great stitch on top of leaves. So I hope you enjoy the closed fly and the fly stitch.